Night at the Museum.
Right, yeah, on that subject.
Okay.
Joe in Chicago emails, Night at the Museum opens in the US today.
Oh, right.
Based on the reviews I've read this morning, I can only hope that nothing happens to Mickey Rooney or Dick Van Dyke. It seems this would be a horrible way to cap off a career. Merry Christmas. Is Joe's contribution.
Yes. Well, I'm a huge fan of Dick Van Dyke because of Mary Poppins. Well, basically, here's the setup. It's a Boxing Day opening over here, so it's opening today in America. The story is Ben Stiller is an absent father who can't hold down a job, and he gets a job working as a night watchman in a museum, taking over the job from, amongst others, Dick Van Dyke. And here's a clip. Or not.
Should we act it out?
Yeah, no, I can't do the Dick Van Dyke impression. Should we do that? And taking over from... Okay.
Your keys, your torch. Right. You're going to want to strap those to your belt. Now, it can get a little spooky around here at night, so you might want to put a few lights on. All right, flashlight, keys, what am I... Oh! The instruction manual.
Instructions. You start with 1, 2, 3...
4.
Are you cracking wise? I ought to punch you in the nose, hopscotch.
Leave him alone, Gus. You got it covered, right, Larry?
Yeah, I got it.
You better get it.
Gus. Larry, do them in order, do them all, and do them quick. And the most important thing of all to remember, don't let anything in or out.
Out?
Good luck, son.
Poor old Dick Van Dyke. I mean, when Dick Van Dyke was at the height of his career, he was probably one of the greatest performers on screen. He was absolutely fantastic. And then after that, he had a pretty successful television career as, who was it? Somebody MD that he played.
It was some kind of sleuth, private eye, doesn't matter.
Doctor. Anyway, fine. But now here he is back, just being Dick Van Dyke for the purpose of providing a little bit of, oldie interest along with Mickey Rooney. The problem with this is that the deal is when the museum is closed up at night, everything in the museum comes to life and rampages around the museum. And, that's it. So we get, a lot of special effects, meaning dinosaur skeletons coming to life, meaning, cowboys, Aztecs, whatever, anyone coming to life. Apparently there is some reason for this, which is that there is an ancient charm which has been placed in the museum, which causes everything in the museum to come to life until the ancient charm gets half-inched, and that sort of provides the mystery element. Now, we have seen all of this before to some extent in Jumanji, which is something we notice even more when it turns out the Roosevelt character is played by Robin Williams. And Robin Williams, he is the harbinger of the bad, blockbusting but not very funny family entertainment movie. It's also executive produced by Chris Columbus, but not written, I don't believe, by David Furnish, who, as we said before, didn't write the other thing. And Chris Columbus, who is just Mr. Bland executive, whenever you see his name on something, you just think, here we go, we're into Harry Potter territory once again. I mean, actually, he's a businessman, so everything that he makes tends to end up making some kind of money, but it doesn't make a whole bunch of sense.
See the title of I know it's not what you're talking about, see the title of the last Harry Potter film's being announced.
And what is it?
Sounds good.
The last Harry Potter book?
Book, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
So it'll be a movie in a few years. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Is that right?
Yeah. But you just don't want Chris Columbus to produce it, that's all.
No, he can produce it. That's fine. I just don't want him to direct it.
Anyway.
He's producing all of them. So, and the Deathly Hallows.
Mm-hmm.
How do we feel about that?
Well, we don't feel anything. It's just the title. It sounds good to me.
Does it? Okay, fine.
Whatever it means.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Okay, fine. Hey, what do I know?
I was expecting some sparkling repartee at that moment. Sorry I mentioned it.
No, okay, fine. Moving on about Night at the Museum.
I think that cold's coming back.
Ricky Gervais plays the museum director.
You're looking very unwell.
And he plays the museum director as Ricky Gervais. That's it. And again, like Sharon Osbourne not doing American accent, Ricky Gervais turns up, he does Ricky Gervais, I'm annoyed, I'm cross, and he doesn't finish any of his sentences. That's the gag. The one gag that he does is he doesn't finish any of his sentences, he sort of runs out of steam, then he shrugs, and then he stops, and that's it. And he seems to be in there largely because he and Ben Stiller presumably are kind of quite good friends, because Ben Stiller was in, I think, one of the episodes of Extras, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So fine, so they know each other, that's nice, having a nice time together. Dick Van Dyke looks pretty fit for a man of his age, Mickey Rooney looks like Mickey Rooney, and the special effects have all been seen before, and that's it. And it's quite long, quite boring, and it's a Boxing Day opening, and once again proves that people do really wait for Christmas to put out the really turgid dross because they figure that no one will notice.